What do you want me to ask her?
This is my new friend Richard. The eyeball pops out.
Tech is changing the way we have sex, but it's less about fornicating with a funky robot and more about technology helping people form deeper bonds, find new love, and even online companionship. Okay, we lied. This might include some sex robots, but we're also going to cover dating apps, internet-connected sex toys, and ways that people are finding pleasure online. It's an interesting topic I've wanted to unpack ever since the pandemic sex toy boom of 2020. But as we started to look at the technology side of things, it became clear that connecting people was a common goal of a lot of sex tech shares. And from talking with some experts, it doesn't seem like that's something that's going to stop anytime soon. Sex tech is the use of technology to enhance the human sexual experience. Humans have been innovating in this erogenous zone for ages. The oldest dildo ever found, for example, was made of polished stone and dates back about 28,000 years. In fact, the vibrator was the 5th domestic device to be electrified, beating out the vacuum cleaner by 9 years. Today, the sex tech industry has swollen to an estimated $36 billion and consists of everything from classics like rope all the way up to animatronic sex dolls. Like my friend here, Leslie. One of the contributing factors to the growth of sex tech is an increased focus on sexual health and well-being and changing societal norms about sex. To learn a little bit more about all of this, we talked to Willow Binks, a corporate leader and sex techspert from Canada's own Love Shop, which, if you haven't noticed, has been graciously hosting us this morning. So how has sex tech grown in the last 10 years?
Quite a lot, considering like if you look at any industry, when it comes to tech, it's always just been constant innovation and growth. And when it comes to the sex toy industry, they've really broken into that, and there's been a lot of different types of toys that have been coming up over the years.
According to Psychology Today, the perception of masturbation, at least in America, has historically been that it's a sexual refuge for singles as a way to compensate for a lack of sex in a relationship. A recent study, however, showed that the opposite is actually the case. Those who are having regular sex also tend to masturbate more. It turns out that around 60% of people who buy sex toys purchase them for themselves and their partner, which just goes to show that we humans have a passion for technology that allows us to connect with each other sexually. Do you see any companies or corners of the internet where that taboo is really being pushed and kind of walls are being broken down?
Yeah, almost everywhere. Especially like in this year, 2023, sex in the West Canada has been like not as stigmatized, which is great, but there's still definitely avenues to explore, especially with that.
So while 73% of Americans agree that sex toys are taboo in society, as of 2022, 78% also own at least one sex toy. Despite these societal perceptions, people are still buying into sex tech to enhance their sexual experiences. What would you say is the most popular sex tech that you guys sell?
I'd say the Lush 3 for sure. People talk about it all the time. It's a Bluetooth vibrator that it's a little bit ergonomic, so it has some tricks to it. It's meant to specifically rest onto the G-spot and then it'll vibrate. But the trick is that it connects to your smartphone and you can remote control it, or you can give the control to a partner. And there's also a couple of functions for cam girls and sex work kind of style.
But sex tech, of course, isn't just about toys. It also includes apps and websites that cater to human sexuality. The most obvious way people seek to connect sexually through technology are dating and hookup apps. On Tinder, Hinge, Grindr, Pure, Field, and more, you can find exactly the connection you're looking for, from a one-night stand to a life partner and everything in between. While the world of dating sites and apps may seem like a product of our modern times, the first case of using a computer to match people actually dates back to 1959. For their final project in a class called Theory and Operation of Computing Machines, 2 students at Stanford University used an IBM 650, the first mass-produced computer in the world, to match up 49 pairs of men and women.
Who's the lucky fella?
Bachelor number 2.
Number 2! All right!
And that drive to use tech to connect has only gotten stronger over time. The isolation of the pandemic lockdowns had people searching for ways to interact sexually with their distanced partners.
At the start, definitely, there was a lot of people buying, specifically the Wii Vibes and the Lush toy that I was mentioning earlier. Yeah, there was even a shortage for a little while, and we were the only people that had them. Our competitors didn't have them, online outlets didn't have them, so we were selling them like crazy, especially online.
Though these toys were not new in 2020, it was during these years that long-distance sex toy sales started to increase. These Bluetooth-enabled toys, sometimes also called teledildonics, allow remote control of the devices is the word I can't get. Teledildonics, I still get. Teledildonics allow remote control of the devices through apps, so users can pleasure each other from across town or across the planet. Some even report using these devices as a way to hook up with strangers online or engage in remote sub-dom play. Do you see VR porn as a growing market?
Oh yeah, definitely.
In what way?
For the most part, I think it's just the immersiveness, right? Like the technology kind of needs to catch up, and I think a lot of the stigma needs to be removed too.
Valued at $1.5 billion right now, the VR porn market is expected to be worth over $124 billion in 2030. Paradoxically, this insatiable need for VR porn may actually be driven by the desire to connect. One study showed that participants felt more desired, flirted with, and connected with when watching VR porn compared to a traditional 2D porn video. And the spit of these participants was even more revealing. In these gobs of goober, they found higher levels of oxytocin, otherwise known as the love hormone or the cuddle chemical. Oxytocin plays a key role in sexual arousal and romantic attachment, so the fact that VR porn elevated these levels compared to regular porn shows just how connected it can make a person feel. What about sex robots?
Oh boy. Oh
Feelings,
boy.
thoughts, where are we in the world of sex robots?
Depends on where you are. In Japan, they're huge. There's lots of sex robots. Right now, not as much, and it's really expensive.
Since at least 1982, when Blade Runner was released, the concept of robots created for human pleasure has been present in pop culture, from Austin Powers to Westworld. Despite some predictions that sex robots would take over the world one day, this niche market is still only valued at about $200 million a year. Part of the reason is that the technology infused in these robots gives them a hefty price tag, making sex robots inaccessible for most. Some of these robots are even AI-powered and have the ability to converse and react in real time with their users. These AI advancements underpin that even sex robots are also about seeking human connection, with companionship and friendship being two reasons people buy these robots, beyond the obvious, sex. While the need to connect may underlie the creation of sex robots, they also come mired in issues of ethics, many of which have yet to be regulated. One study, for example, found that male bias is present in the design, interaction, and even in the ethics surrounding sex robots. Unsurprising. Beyond all of those, most people are using smaller devices like what we've seen here today. But one thing we've learned from Willow is that it's pretty important to buy from a reputable brand.
When it comes to certain toys, there's some that are higher risk than others when it comes to getting hacked, but there are other sex toys that have, they basically just mass manufacture and then they pump out a shitty app, and then it's just filled with vulnerabilities or security issues, privacy issues, and things like that. And yeah, everyone should definitely not worry about it, but keep it in mind.
As technology advances, there's sure to be even more ways we can connect with each other sexually beyond even our wildest fantasies. While sex toys might still have a taboo feeling, it's kind of exciting to do all this research and see the tide turning. Overall, I've had my expectations on sex toys and sex tech shifted a ton now that I've seen how important they can be towards building healthy relationships. While there might still be some stigma around the sex toy industry, when we dug a little deeper, it was heartwarming to notice that it's more about building safe spaces and interpersonal connections. And I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm Tasha the Amazon. Make sure you subscribe to see even more interesting tech videos every second Friday. But if you can't wait, check out my latest video about fighting forest fires with drones and other technologies. All right, see you online.
But if you do.
But if you do, even more so. Yeah. Keep your ass safe.
Sure.
I'm so bored.
Yeah.
I'm about to try butt stuff.
Yeah, so kind of like a soft ska, right? Yeah.
Experience unlimited blowjobs using human techniques generated by AI. How does this AI learn the BJ technique?
So that's my question, right? Like,
oh, bro, get over here.
like the bad dragon cocks, we have these bad boys now.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
These are really cool. Look, there's a, oh my God, cockness monster. Check this out. Lord Kraken, Coctopus. Oh man, I'm in the wrong industry.
Oh.
Yeah, this is amazing. very impressive because it doesn't look, I mean, like, I'm used to just seeing like blow up dolls that are like, oh, versus this queen. Check this out.